Hi, I'm Melinda Goodwin. I'm a real estate agent here in St. George, Utah, and I'm doing a series right now about how to buy a home or how to buy real estate. It's specifically for those of you who are looking to invest in real estate, or maybe first-time home buyers or relocating, and you're not quite familiar with the area that you're going to, or you just have general real estate questions. Now, I'm happy to answer questions at the end. If you want to put comments in below the videos, that would be great. First off, I want to let you know that my internet here has been really super slow today. And so if my lips don't match the video, or if the video drags, I truly do apologize. I'm not sure what's going on, but I'm not going to let that stop me from putting out a video. So I hope you can get through it. If it ends up being too horrible, then let me know so that I can make sure that we maybe re-record this. So today I'm going to talk about protecting your investment. Now, I know that when you're thinking of buying a home, after all, it's the American dream, right? Buying a home can be so magical. You sitting in your backyard, watching the kids grow up and enjoying the outdoors, or as a retiree, swinging on the front porch, watching the neighborhood, and, working in the shop, fixing and creating. I mean, it all seems so great. And the reality of it is, it's a very daunting process. It sometimes can be more of a nightmare than it is a dream. And I want to make that process just a little bit easier for you. And it's funny because I saw a cartoon on Facebook that said, "I'm your real estate agent, not your imaginary estate agent." And I thought that was kind of funny because, we always dream of home ownership, and we dream of having pets and kids and grandkids and growing up in this environment. But sometimes that dream isn't necessarily reality. And so I want to help you transition that, right? I want to make the transition from a dream to reality just a little bit more smoother. So today we're going to talk, for whatever reason you're going to buy, okay? So you're going to buy because you're downsizing, or maybe you're a first-time home buyer, or you're investing, or you're retiring. Whatever reason you're going to buy, you have to think long term. And that's kind of why I said protect, 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 right? That's protecting your investment. I can't tell you how many times I've heard, "This is our last house. I'm never buying again. I'm ready to stop moving. I just want to live in this house." And honestly, I've said that time and time again myself. I think with every house I've ever lived in, I've said, "This is it. I'm done. I don't want to move again." And when I first moved to Southern Utah, it was right in the middle of that crash. And so we basically rented because we had, the insight to not purchase yet. And literally, we went through 9 houses in a matter of 5 years. And because, foreclosures and things like that. So this is my last house has always been something I've always said. And what I've realized being in real estate is you can say that, but in the buying process, you have to think long term. So when I'm working with a buyer, I want to always think of resale value. What's my market going to do? And that's hard to predict, but I always want to make sure that if my clients need to get out in the next few years, that they're financially protected, right? So I want to make sure there's enough value in their house or in that purchase that they can get out fairly easy. And I always encourage writing offers based on that question, even if it's a cash buyer. And cash buyers, you don't have to do appraisals. You just come in, you slap your cash down, you walk away with the house, and A lot of times cash buyers will come in, you know, with a low ball offer because they know it's a guaranteed cash thing. And part of the reason that is because they have cash. You know, they don't want to take that risk of paying too much money for the house, so they'll actually offer less money, which is, you know, what I would do. What I would do. So even if it's a cash buyer, now let's face it, a cash buyer might have cash now, but simple life changes can turn that paid off investment into something that needs to be refinanced or sold in an emergency. And so I always want to protect my buyer. That's kind of the big deal here. We're protecting for resale value. And so when you're walking into a house and you're looking at, okay, well, like for instance, I've got some buyers now that will want to remodel pretty much any house they get into. So when we're walking into that, we have to take that remodel into consideration as well. And at the end of this purchase with this remodel, are they going to be okay to get out in a couple years? That's really where that stems from, right? And I want to make sure they buy the house that if they remodel, they can still sell it and be financially okay. So when I work with investors too, in this process, I want to make sure they've got a good return on investment. And in their return on investment, they need to make sure that that investment is financially stable. Most investors will borrow money to buy this house, to rent it out, to make money on borrowed money. And if you're an investor and you're not borrowing money to buy a house to make money on borrowed money, you're doing it wrong. You need to make money on borrowed money. But you also need to make sure that your investment is protected so that if you need to sell quickly, you can and get out. Very, very important. So I guess what I'm trying to convey is when you're thinking of buying for whatever reason, doesn't really matter the reason, you always have to think resell. You want to protect that investment. We're talking about a lot of money here, people, a lot of money. So if it's the perfect house in the perfect neighborhood, you still want to protect your investment. Okay, I think I nailed that down hard enough. Tomorrow we're going to talk more about the buying process. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask questions at the bottom, or you can follow me on Facebook and, you know, ask questions in the videos on Facebook as well, because I want to make sure when we're doing these videos that we target the questions you as the buyer have. So until next time, thanks.